So I was watching a video of JJ Redick and analysts talking about Victor Wembanyama and his Rookie of the Year case. And in this point of the season, and after we've seen, how it has played out through the year and how the Rookie of the Year conversations are going, I wanted to talk about this conversation and basically just see like what would be who is the rookie of the year and what would be the case for Chet Holmgren, what would be the case for Victor Wembanyama, and what would be the case for maybe another rookie to step up, which obviously I don't think that one is possible. So first, with Chet and Victor, their roles are completely different. We have to understand that first because you can't expect the same thing from Chet as you do from Victor. Chet is a player which plays in a system which is meant to create chances for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and he also plays in a system where winning basketball is more prevalent and where there are more games that are won than are lost. And I'm saying that because in Chet's system, he doesn't have to get the ball every play. Neither does he have to be exerting himself physically like Wembanyama does. But this doesn't, detract from Chet's case. You could be the most effective player in a calendar year and still be considered the rookie of the year. But it definitely goes and adds to the value and the consistency of Chet because Chet hasn't missed a game. Chet's been there for the entire season. He's been extremely efficient, shooting 54% from the field, 39% from three, and 79% from the free throw line. Meanwhile, being the center and only playing 30 minutes per game, meanwhile averaging 17 points, having 2.5 blocks, a steal, 3 assists, and 1.5 turnovers. So basically, what you're telling me there is that Chet is effective, he's good, and he has his stuff done. For Victor, on the other hand, he averages 20 points, 3.5 blocks, 1 steal, and 10 rebounds on 47% from the field and 35% from three, 34% from three, with 81% from the free throw line. So for Victor, basically, his stats, even though on the box score they are better, you also have to understand that he plays around 28 minutes per game. Chet plays about 30. And in those minutes, Victor Wembanyama has one of the highest usage rates by any rookie ever. I think he's top 6 all time, and I think since maybe Wilt Chamberlain or since the 90s, he has the usage rate that high. So the reason for this conversation being a thing is because when we're looking at Rookie of the Year, let's say that Chet's team wins a lot of games, right? Or maybe let's say they go when they finish as the first seed and whatever. Maybe you're looking at him as the best rookie in the season because of the effectiveness and what he's done with his team. But on the other hand, with Victor, when you're just looking at how good a player is in the rookie season, then Victor has been showing that he is the best by far. So what I want to say right now is, look, firstly, I think that if it comes to player performance, and because I've never heard of Rookie of the Year being based on, wins, I think that Victor should win it. And the reason why I'm not saying things the way I normally say them, and the reason why I'm being so tentative with how I speak, is because I don't want to get the fans of these fan bases mad. I'll normally say hot takes and I'll say them pretty boldly, but I do understand that the Rookie of the Year thing, especially for Oklahoma, is very important, as now they've had two Rookie of the Years in a row, which have not gotten it, in Jalen Williams, now Chet Holmgren. And I do think that they want Chet to have the same, opportunity that Victor has. And the reason why I say that is because throughout the season, let's face it, people came into this year and just said, oh, Victor's an extraterrestrial. He's going to get the Rookie of the Year bang. And I don't think that Oklahoma fans like that very much. And I'm not trying to do that. I'm actually trying to have a conversation about this Rookie of the Year race and really see who is actually going to win it. So since I'm not trying to get and be any type of political about this, I'm not trying to upset the fan base because I know how much it means to them. I'm actually trying to see who would win it. So if the voters are going to account for team success, then I think that Chet is definitely going to win, because Chet has been playing great basketball. He's hit game winners. He's been effective. He's had the world basically in the palm of his hands. And he's been one of the players which you look at and you just say, like, oh my God, this dude is amazing, right? And he's contributed to winning basketball. He's had to apply himself to a system, not make a system be of him. And that is a very real thing. With Victor, and let's face it, Victor is the system. He's always meant to be the system. Ever since he was drafted, it's like, you're going to be the player which is going to save this franchise. And that's what he is. That's what he was drafted to do. That's what he's been tasked of doing. Ever since the first day that he came onto a court, he's been compared to the great San Antonio bigs like David Robinson and Tim Duncan. But with Chet, the only thing that he's been compared to is that he could have the potential of maybe an OKC Big Three Part 2, right? With Shea, Jalen Williams, and Chet Holmgren, being the new Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, and James Harden in that order, right? And I just hope that they don't trade Chet, So in that moment and in that aspect, yes, it is true. There are some questions with Chet. There are some concerns with him about if he can go and he can actually produce on his own. Because let's face it, he's amazing. He is. And he's been great for this entire season. But if we're being 1,000% honest, he has not, and he doesn't have to, by the way, but he hasn't proven that he can really go and himself carry a team. Now, I don't think he should, neither do I think he has to, because the way that Oklahoma plays, he's been able to maintain himself healthy. He hasn't had any injury. He hasn't had any concerns with the way that he plays. And apart from that, they've been winning the games. So really, there is no concerns right now with the way that Chet is doing. I just think that when you take everything into consideration and when you really think about what Chet and Victor are doing, I think that Victor's going to win the Rookie of the Year. Apart from the fact that the voters are going to favor Victor more because of his individual performance throughout the season, I also think that it is more impressive for the regular person to see one dude have to carry a team the way that Victor is carrying his, as opposed to seeing one dude feed into a system the way that Chet is doing. And the reason why I say that is because Chet, he is amazing and he is great. But Victor Wembanyama this season, his name already is the extraterrestrial. He's already been tasked with carrying the legacy. He's the person which kept Greg Popovich from retiring. And I want you to understand that expectation, that level of, a commitment and that level of expectation doesn't come with light praise. It comes with a lot of praise. So when it comes to these two, when it comes to Victor, when it comes to Chet, I do believe that it is an interesting Rookie of the Year. I believe it's a valid Rookie of the Year. But apart from also getting the upper hand when it matters the most in their matchups against each other, I also believe that Victor and Chet are going to be a rivalry for years to come, and that it's going to be a great feud.